Have you ever wondered why some incredible new technology just fizzles out? A lot of the time it's because it gets pushed on us through boring ads. Well, today we're diving into a totally different strategy. What if technology spread not through marketing, but through real, actual human connection? That's the big idea behind something called the access node model.
And this right here, this sentence is the heart of the whole thing. It just completely flips the script on how tech usually gets launched. The goal isn't to shove a product onto a market, but to let access flow naturally through relationships and people you already trust.
So this is the key takeaway, right? We're not just looking at some new feature or a cool new product. This model is aiming for something way more fundamental. It's about changing the very mechanics of how things spread, moving from some central website to a decentralized hand-to-hand network of people.
Okay, so if you're going to skip traditional marketing altogether, your method better be really, really effective. So let's get into the why of this model. What is it about this person-to-person approach that makes it not just different, but maybe way more powerful?
You know, the brilliant part is how these four things all feed into each other. Because the whole process is fundamentally human. It's based on a real conversation. It has the potential to become naturally viral. I mean, you trust a recommendation from a friend, right? And because sharing and helping each other out is a culturally universal thing we all do, this whole network can grow incredibly fast, without a big company controlling every little thing.
All right, so the philosophy makes sense, but what about the nuts and bolts? How does it actually work on the ground? Well, the entire system really hinges on this one core concept, the access node. So let's break down exactly what that means.
And that's it. It's really that simple. Don't think of an access node as some piece of tech. Think of it as a person, a trusted friend or neighbor in a community who's basically a gateway for other people to get in.
And you really got to pay attention here because this is a huge distinction. An access node is simply a human gateway. It is not a crypto miner, it is not an investment, and it is definitely not some new speculative asset. The whole point is about distribution and connection, not creating a new way for people to trade or chase profits.
So what are these folks actually sharing? Well, they're distributing things that already exist inside the system. We're talking about MapPass IDs to get onto the platform, these fixed value keys that are used to get those IDs, and some special founder seats. But notice what's not on that list. No new tokens, no speculative assets. This is all about spreading access to the platform that's already there.
Okay, so we get what an access node is, and we know what it shares. The next logical question is, right, how do you become one? Well, the answer is designed to be super simple and feel really natural.
So there are basically two ways in. The first one is automatic. If you activate a founder seat, boom, you're a node. But this second path, this is where things get really interesting. Anyone who has keys can pass that access on to someone else. Just think about how things like mobile airtime or gift cards already get passed around in communities. It's that exact same organic person-to-person flow.
And that number you see, 19,531, that is not just some random figure. It's actually a super important guardrail. You know, in a world where tech startups are always chasing this crazy, uncontrolled growth, putting a strict cap on things sends a totally different message. It says the priority is building a strong, stable foundation first.
Okay, now we're getting to what I personally think is the most fascinating part of this whole model, the psychology. Why is it designed to, as the source material says, feel so good? Well, it's all about tapping into these really basic human needs we all have for connection and, just belonging. First off, and this is a big one, you can't just go to a website and sign up anonymously. Nope, you have to actually be introduced by someone. And that's not a bug, it's a feature. That simple little human interaction immediately builds trust, it helps verify you are who you say you are, and it creates a story about how you got in. That's how real communities are built. And second, it gives people a real, tangible role in their community. By handling these fixed value keys, someone can become the local go-to person for access. This offers a sense of dignity, of being useful, and it's completely separate from any promise of making a profit. It's about having a purpose.
And I love this next point because it's so true. Look, not everyone is a born salesperson or a systems expert, right? This model creates a super valuable role for the natural connectors among us. You know, those people who are just great at making introductions and helping out their neighbors. Finally, they have a real way to participate and feel like they belong.
Okay, so whenever you hear about a new distribution model like this, a big question pops up. Is it safe? How does it keep things from getting, weird and speculative? Well, this one has 4 really clear guardrails built right into its design from the start.
All right, let's break them down. First up, the keys have a fixed value. That immediately kills any chance for price speculation. Second, the language is very intentional. This is framed as inventory for access, not an investment you expect to profit from. Third, as we just saw, the supply is strictly controlled to keep things from getting overhyped. And finally, the core message is kept incredibly simple. Access moves through people. That clarity prevents a ton of confusion.
And this right here, this slide really gets to the heart of the strategy. Why not just add financial liquidity from day one? Because that's a magnet for speculation. It makes things way too complicated, and it distracts everyone from the real mission. The access node model puts people first. It's all about speeding up adoption and building trust. The money stuff, that can come later, once that human foundation is rock solid.
All right, so the mechanics are smart, the psychology is powerful, but what makes something truly go viral? For an idea to really catch on like wildfire, it needs a simple, contagious hook. So what's the one core idea here that's designed to do just that?
Seriously, take a second. What's the one simple phrase that could capture this entire philosophy and make you instantly want to tell a friend about it?
That's it. That is the viral hook. Think about the massive difference in feeling there. Signing up for something is cold, it's lonely, it's just a transaction. But being let in, that implies community, acceptance, a personal invitation. It totally reframes the whole experience from a simple transaction to an act of belonging.
And that really brings us home to the final idea, the soul of this entire model. It's this belief that when we pass things directly from one person to another, something more than just access gets transferred. Trust gets transferred, connection, community. And that's a powerful thought to end on, isn't it? What would it look like to build more systems that move not just through our hands, but through our hearts too?